so cool and interview the people that are coming out. I think that would be so cool. They are entertainment venues designed to thrill and scare patrons. Most attractions are seasonal Halloween businesses, include haunted houses, corn mazes, and hay rides. And, of course, the effect and the sophistication has risen as, the years have gone by. The first recorded purpose-built haunted attraction was the Orton and Spooner Ghost House, which opened in 1915 in England. This attraction most closely resembles a carnival funhouse powered by steam, and the house still exists in the Hollycombe Steam Collection. So that's pretty cool. It wasn't even here. It was over in England. Yeah, that would be cool, wouldn't it, Lori? I'd have a blast doing that. I don't know why I didn't think of it this year, because the weather's been so good. I could have. And, of course, Cedar Point has their Halloween weekends here, too. So, a lot of stuff going on. I love corn mazes. Those are so cool. And it was during the 1930s, about the same time as trick-or-treating, that Halloween-themed haunted houses first began to appear in America. It was the late 1950s that haunted houses as a major attraction began to appear, focusing first on California. And sponsored by the Children's Health Home, the San Mateo Haunted House opened in 1957, and the San Bernardino Assistant League Haunted House opened in 1958. And they began appearing across the country during 1962 and 63. Oh, there in Jackson? Very cool. Indiana has a lot. When we were coming back from Milwaukee, going through Indiana, wow, they have a lot of very cool stuff going on. A haunted hospital and different things like that. That would be so cool. I think we all need to go to one. That's what I think. Or at least go on a ghost hunt. I think we all should go on a ghost hunt. That's what I think. Anyway, it took to 1962 and 63 that home haunts began appearing across the country, as well as the Children's Museum Haunted House in Indianapolis. See, I was just talking about that. The haunted house, as an American cultural icon, can be attributed to the opening of Haunted Mansion in Disneyland in August of 1969. And of course, Knott's Berry Farm began hosting its own Halloween night attraction, Knott's Scary Farm, in 1973. The first Halloween haunted house run by a nonprofit organization was in 1970 by the Sycamore Deer Park JCs in Ohio. Very cool. It was sponsored by WSAI, an AM radio station broadcasting out of Cincinnati. It was last produced in 82. On the evening of May 11th, 84, in Jackson Township, New Jersey, the Haunted Castle, which is a Six Flags adventure, caught fire, and as a result, 8 teenagers perished. The backlash to the tragedy was a tightening of regulations, of course, with safety, and the codes and everything. And sadly, they're lame. You'll just have to come up here, Chris. We'll treat you. The smaller venues, the smaller attractions, couldn't compete financially with the better funded commercial enterprises. So, and in the late 1980s and early 90s, theme parks entered the business seriously. Six Flags Fright Fest, Cedar Point's Halloween Weekends, Universal Studios Florida, Halloween Horror Nights, and Knott's Scary Farm. Okay. And on All Hallows Eve, many Christian denominations encourage abstinence from meat. That's usually with Lent, I thought. I don't know. Halloween comes in the wake of the early apple harvest. Candy apples, caramel apples, or known as taffy apples, are common Halloween treats. At one time, candy apples were commonly given to trick-or-treaters, but in the wake of the razor blade scare, so much for that, the razor blade and the apples in the U.S. that were embedded in the apples. That was so sad, so sad. Actual cases involving malicious acts are very rare and never resulted in serious injury. However, the hysteria in some hospitals offered free x-rays of the children's Halloween hauls, and virtually all of the few known candy poisoning incidents involve parents who poison their own kids. There you go. Leave it to the media to put a spin on it and scare the hell out of everybody. One custom that persists still today in Ireland is the baking of a barmbrack. Barmbrack. It's a light fruit cake into which a plain ring, a coin, and other charms are placed before baking. And it is said that those who get a ring will find true love. This is also similar to the tradition of king cake. So we also have bonfire toffee, that's in Great Britain. Candy apples, candy corn, and candy pumpkins here in North America. Monkey nuts. Oh, there you go. Those are peanuts in their shells. Ireland and Scotland, they call them monkey nuts. Okay. Here, that would take on a whole new meaning. Also in Ireland, Scotland, caramel apples, caramel corn, Halloween cake. Novelty candy shaped like skulls, pumpkin bats, worms, roasted pumpkin seeds, roasted sweet corn, and soul cakes. So, I thought that was pretty cool. So what, it's called Jackson Underwear. Oh, have you been to that one? Have you been to that one, Lori? Excuse me. Yes, no, maybe. Have you been to that one? Nothing good in there, huh, Chris? That sucks. I think there'd be more to do down there, like more corn mazes or pretty good. There's a lot of old buildings down there, haunted buildings that a lot of the ghost hunters have been to in Virginia, no? No, a lot of oh, that sucks. That's too bad. I love haunted houses and stuff. That would be so cool. Okay. How about Halloween decoration? Monkey nuts. Yeah, I'd pass too. That doesn't even sound good. Like I said, that takes a whole new meaning here in America, doesn't it? Yeah. What are your favorite Halloween decorations? We have some really cool ones around here where they got the fog and the lights and the big spiders on the house and everything's corpse barn shack. Oh, that sounds cool. You been there? Have you been? Which ones have you been to, Lori? You been to any of them? Like I said, we used to bring my girlfriend with us, be about 6 of us or something, only because she peed her pants. It was so much fun. We're so mean. I'm going to hell, I know. Anyway, what are your favorite Halloween decorations? Do you have any? Tell me. Oh, nothing there. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Oh, that sounds cool though, Laura. It really does. You have your own kind of haunted place, don't you, Chris? Your place. Spiders and webs. Ooh. Okay. As soon as the first waft of autumn air hits, it happens. The annual fall ritual of Halloween and autumn decorating begins. A little did I know there was a time frame for that. But anyway, brightly colored pumpkins, corn stalks, hay bales, scarecrows, and autumn leaves adorn porches, doorways, and yards throughout communities. The scary and more frightening look of Halloween decor comes along within the fall months as well. It's an annual autumn tradition that most of us enjoy every year. We do it without really thinking about it. Have you ever wondered where the idea for all this Halloween season... Oh, thank you, Lori. Appreciate it. You know, maybe I'll come up there and do it. Pumpkins, too. Yes. You ever wondered where the idea for all this Halloween seasonal decor came from? In order to get to the root of Halloween decorating, as well as popular Halloween symbols, you have to look back into history a few thousand years. I love Halloween. I would love to do so much more. I want to have a Halloween party with all the fog and all that good stuff. I think it would be fun. Halloween today is one of the most favorite of all the holidays. Between dressing up in costumes, going to parties, and trick-or-treating, what's not to love about it? I agree. What's not to love about Halloween? It wasn't always fun and games, though. And if you've ever wondered about the darker and spookier side of Halloween, you can take a look back into history and dig into mind of the deeply superstitious ancient man. Yeah, cool. Several thousand years ago, long before Halloween, as we know it, there was an end of summer festival known as Samhain. As the harvest season came to its wintry close, ancient pagan Celtic people honored the gods and goddesses of the harvest by holding the celebration. It was considered a time for the people to show gratitude and pay homage to the gods of the harvest, who the people felt were responsible for their bounty. Yes, they do. Actually, that's very true, Lori. They all mean something in Wiccan. Absolutely, they do. Samhain was marked with great celebrating and revelry by the locals, including great feasts and dancing. Large bonfires were also created in which animal sacrifices were made to honor the gods of the harvest. Well, isn't that nice? But Samhain was not all about happiness and good times. It was also a time of great superstition, darkness, and fear. The Samhain tradition has many deep-seated supernatural practices that were an integral part of the annual festivities. And of course, back then the people weren't as educated. Of course, they lived during these ancient days. They fervently believed that the end of the harvest and the onset of winter also created an unusual opportunity for the spirits of the newly deceased. And during the short window of time, it was commonly believed that the souls of the dead could return to life and mingle amongst the living. Ooh, I love this part of it. Not knowing what ramifications that might come with the return of these spirits, local villagers took what they felt were necessary precautions. Here we go, the villagers with the pitchforks and torches. No, I'm just kidding. And they did these precautions in hopes that these spirits might potentially ensure their safety and spare them from any evil doings. Special lanterns with frightful faces cut into the flesh were made from turnips. These lanterns were used to light the way of the villagers during the Samhain festivities. But they were also thought to be a scary deterrent that would ward off any malevolent spirits that might be out and about. Oh, the freaks would love this, wouldn't they? They wouldn't run away. They'd run towards you. And lavish food offerings were left out on tables for the spirits to eat if they desired. And finally, as a simple way to avoid any potential contact with the dead spirits, animal skins and frightening disguises that made them look as scary as possible. The point of these early costumes was to appear not only very frightful, but perhaps even to look dead. Thus it was thought that if a spirit came across someone dressed up like this, it would be assumed you were one of them. There you go. And they would be left alone. And of course, Christianity influences everything, obviously, because they influenced Halloween. When they first came to the European countries, they were quick to realize that the Celtic pagan people were kind of set in their ways. When it came to a good party, were not very likely to give up the idea of their Samhain celebrating. And of course, the Pope, they would love it, wouldn't they? They'd come right towards you with those. Pope Gregory devised a clever tactic of getting the Celts to convert to Christianity and also keep their ancient traditions intact. They surrounded Samhain, were altered a bit, and were changed, now being called All Saints' Day or All Hallows' Day, was sanctioned by the Catholic Church. Black Cat, Halloween specifically designated as a special day set aside in order to pray for all the saints and martyrs, as well as newly deceased. One of the rituals that became popular associated with All Saints' Day was the practice of souling. And this